Wow, that's a lot in your head. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, all that's got to fit inside your head somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean I think in a way it's easier now it's easier, but also kind of backfires at you. I'm extremely impressed when I realize that all these guys, like, again, like William Silvestri, or even we go back to Rojas and all this, like Max Steiner, like just the classic composers, they didn't have computers. So everything was literally in their heads.
Well, yeah.
Or in paper, in their heads and paper, until they actually recorded it.
Right.
Nowadays, I mean, a lot of it is in the head, but you record it. You have it in your computer.
Right.
You can keep going into the next cues. It's not like you have to memorize every single cue and do it all. The computer is a big tool that can kind of hold most of that memory for you.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm. But it kind of backfires too, because now your clients, I mean, your filmmakers, they want to listen to everything as final. Before, there was a lot more trust, or John Williams would just play dun 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 on a piano and then be like, it's going to be like this, but with a full orchestra, and then people would approve it.
Yeah, okay.
Nowadays, it's impossible to do that.
I see.
You play it on the piano and you say, it's going to be like this, but it's going to be strings and a brass. You're never going to get it approved.
Yeah, they're probably told, like, that's very nice, but I want to hear the...
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear it fully. And it has to be so close to the final, to the point where once you record it, it only gets 20% better. If, you know, your mock-ups have to be so close to the real thing that sometimes you even do a pre-record session where you have a friend come in and do 6 different lines of violin.
Wow. Or you can use sampled strings, probably?
Yeah, of course. Oh, that you use all the time.
That's usually what you do.
But sometimes you even have to get more real than that.
Wow.
Depending on what it is. Sampled strings are very effective for short strings or things like that, but sometimes for the more legato things, or if it's a very gentle type of cue, we're not there yet. You know, it sounds...
You can tell the difference?
You can tell the difference for sure.
So you're saying if it's faster, like staccato notes or something that's just moving more quickly, it's harder to tell the difference?
Oh, much harder.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's why if budget is low or you don't have enough time, usually you prioritize legato, like longs.
I see.
And you keep all the staccatos and all the spiccatos and all that. You keep it.
Is it because of the vibrato on the strings, like the humanness, like the little
the human expression of
and the attack
of these lines?
You know, the attack, because sampled strings are not synthesized; they're actually recorded.
Right.
So when you have a short, it's not going to change that much. It'll be different, but when you do da 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 da, it's always going to be the same. You can change the timing, but the attacks will sound the same.
Right.
But when you have a whole chord that just swells into another chord, that transition is much harder to do in a computer.
Right.
Right.
The music,
you would have the attack on every note.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The sample we played earlier from 30 Degrees, the film you did, I mean, there's no way I would mistake that for sampled strings. I mean...
Oh, absolutely.
That was so beautiful and rich.
Fully real.
Yeah. Yeah. The hairs on the back of my neck start to stand up when I hear that kind of music. I feel like the sampled stuff just wouldn't make that happen.
No, absolutely. But for example, in an action cue, that is a lot of shorts and things like that, then...
Like car chase music or
car chases and things like that. Usually, again, if you have enough budget, you record everything and several times. But if you're towards the beginning of your career, mostly you have a very limited time. You only have 3 or 4 hours with orchestra.
Oh, wow.
So you usually have to prioritize cues.
So you got to get it done in one day, basically.
Oh, yeah.
That's wow.
That's less than a day.
Oh, shit.
That's the reality, yeah, for most projects.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, and you have to skip cues, too, a lot of times. You just have to prioritize and be like, all right, this one, again, especially if it's an action thing, many reasons why you wouldn't worry about it. First, it's probably going to be drowned in sound effects. It's going to be, if it's a car chase, all you're going to hear is the engines.
Yeah,
right. and the cars and the sirens and things like that. So why bother recording the shorts on that? You usually try to prioritize the scenes that there's just 2 people talking. And there's you would definitely...
More exposed.
You would know if it's a sample.
Yeah.
And make sure you get all of those first.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is a fascinating conversation. So much. You're really peeling back the layers for us here.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, wow.